Alright, I'm gonna wrap up this vlog. I love you guys so much. You are so awesome. Peace, much love. Oh, that's not my...
It's okay, you can use it.
Hello, my loves. Welcome back to my channel. What is my intro? Hello, my loves. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Leeor Alexandra. If you're new, welcome to the Baby Elephant community. The channel we talk about the law of attraction, spirituality, self-development, so much more. This, what you're about to watch, was going to go into a vlog. It still will go into a vlog, but it was so in-depth and it ended on an interesting note. So much so that Aaron and I have agreed it should be a video. So
yes,
let
absolutely.
me share with you my first astral projection, my first conscious astral projection experience, and what insights I gathered from it.
It was amazing. Just so you guys know.
I got the approval.
Very profound information. You guys are gonna love her story of it.
Thank you so much. So
Right,
let's get into it now. Okay, now that I have my wand, I'm ready to tell you about my astral projection experience. Okay, I'm gonna tell it over.
that's my wand. It's made from oxtail.
Is this a 9-inch dragon's heart and phoenix tail?
Do you want it to be 9 inches?
So, the other night when I was having a really hard time sleeping because my neck was so stiff and hurting so badly, I went to go sleep on the floor because a lot of people on Instagram DMs suggested that I need to sleep on like just a really flat surface like the floor. The thing about astral projection is it's best done when you're coming out of sleep state. So, it's not hypnagogic state, I think it's hip something state, but you're basically still in theta state going to, what's waking state?
Alpha or beta.
Yeah, so you're in theta, but you're going into alpha or beta or whatever it is, whatever's waking state. That is the state for astral projection. So what happened was it was like 3 or 4 in the morning, I think it was 3 in the morning. And I go to the living room, I go lay down, and I immediately slip into this, for lack of a better word, because I don't remember what it's called, hypnagogic state. And I put the blanket over my face before I slipped into this state because I kept the lights dimly on because I was a little scared of being in the dark in the living room. So I cover my face, I'm covered, right? And as I'm slipping into the hypnagogic state, so I've been in this state before, so, you know, it could be sleep paralysis when darker, lower vibrational beings, thought forms can come and sneak up on you. But I really have raised my vibration to the point where they don't come to me anymore. I don't feel them. So I will slip into sleep paralysis here and again, but nothing scary happens. It's actually all very positive. But it only happens for a moment. I'm never very lucid. I can never leave my body. I've never been able to leave my body. I've tried. So I've been in the sleep paralysis state where it's perfect, primed for astral projection. My body starts to shake, everything starts to shake, and I'm trying to pull myself up because a lot of people who teach astral projection say try to pull yourself up like in a rope. Every time I do that, it hurts my head. I get this buzzy noise, really, really loud, and I just don't leave my body. So, the fact that my neck and my body was hurting so bad actually helped prime me for astral projection, because what happens in the past is I can't tell the difference between my astral body, my astral self, and my physical self when I'm in this state. This time, I was able to tell the difference because my astral body didn't feel any pain. So it's like whenever I would kind of move out of my body, the pain in my neck and in my back went away. So I had that discernment. I was able to tell the difference between my astral self and my physical self. So when I realized I'm in this state, rather than getting scared, I took internally, I don't know if I was taking real breaths or astral breaths, I don't know how that works, but I was taking breaths and I was calming myself down, and I called on my spirit guides and I called on Archangel Michael. So I said, Archangel Michael, please be with me, please send any negative entities, any negative beings to the light, please transmute them into light and bring them back to source, and be with me right now. And spirit guides, please be with me. As I said this, I felt like a divine presence around me, and then I felt and heard I don't know how I could see this because my face is covered, but this is what I saw and this is what I felt. It was like a chubby dog tiger kind of animal. It went around my head and sat to my left and sat there. And immediately I got this smile on my face, astral face, whatever, I don't know where it actually came from, and I knew I was protected. And I remember being like, oh, you didn't have to come, as if I knew this spirit guide. I don't remember ever meeting him before, but I guess I've known him in other states of consciousness. So I remember being like, oh, you didn't have to come. Did I tell you that part?
No.
Yeah. Yeah. And I kind of felt almost guilty that he came, but also really happy that he came because I knew that I was protected now. So a few moments I was laying there with this being there, the blanket's still over my face, and suddenly I feel the presence of a man in the room. And I get a little scared. I'm hoping it's Aaron because, you know, the presence of a man sometimes can be really scary in this sleep paralysis state. So I tried screaming. Aaron, babe, Aaron, but I realized it was useless because I'm in the sleep paralysis state. And then this presence of a man moves over to my right, and he's talking. I can't understand what he's saying. I can't focus because I'm still in between states, so I'm not able to discern what he's actually saying. But somehow I suddenly start seeing, and remember that the blanket's over my face. My physical face is covered, but I see this guy as if he's standing and I'm laying down, and he's super, super tall, and he's wearing a gray wool coat that reaches down past his knees. I grab onto that wool coat and I feel the material. I feel the texture of the wool, and I'm able, just like they tell you to grab something imaginary and pull yourself out, I was able to grab this thing that felt as real as this feels to me right now. As real as this, and to me looked as real as being right here. It didn't feel like a dream. It didn't look like a dream. It didn't look like somewhere far away in my subconscious in a different place. It was like physical reality for me. And this has never happened before. I've had lucid dreams, and I thought I've astral projected in the past one time, but now that I've actually astral projected, I know that it's not, that was probably a lucid dream, because this was just as real as this. As real as any of this. So I grab onto his coat and I pull myself up and I wiggle out of my body. So every other time that I've done this, I've tried to force myself out. I had this knowing in my head. I don't know if it came from me or from my guides. I actually don't know where this knowing came from. This knowing said to me, take it easier, make it lighter. Don't be so like desperate to get out of your body. Take it super lightly and you'll get out of your body. So I shimmied and danced out of my body. And this was really fun because for a couple of days at that moment, my body was in a lot of pain and I was barely able to move. So being able to shimmy out of my body felt really cool. So I grab myself out and I come out of my body. Now I never looked down to see where my physical body was. I was so enamored with what was going on with me and with this being, this man that I'll explain to you guys about in a second. I was so like over the top excited that I had finally left my body and that I was in a different dimension. This was a different dimension, you guys. However, it felt almost like the third density dimension. It almost felt like this, except there was something a bit ethereal about it. Now, looking back, the memory looks like a dream to me, but in the moment, it was as real as reality. That's all I can say. Like, I always thought that's going to be like a dream, but and thinking back about it, it feels like a dream, but while I was in it, and immediately after, at least for the hour after, it felt as real life. It was just a different dimension, so I had a different aspect to it. I was still in the apartment in the Airbnb in Tamarindo. The only difference was the sky was a mixture of a starry night and a beautiful sunset. So it was like a beautiful sunset, but with a star-speckled sky. So as I'm getting close, becoming more acquainted with this new feeling, this new dimension, I'm understanding that this tall being is speaking to me. Now, this guy, he had dark hair, super, super pale skin, one piercing blue eye, like ethereal blue eye, and one ethereal, sorry. Sometimes I say words that I usually only read or write, and I say them wrong. One blue eye, one red eye, okay? Something I didn't expect to see ever. I don't know what that was. And he had really, really clear skin. He kind of looked like a vampire, almost from Twilight, but not as like actory. His teeth were perfect. He had more teeth than human teeth. So he had like almost as if it was these two front teeth, but everywhere, but they looked really nice. However, they weren't very white. They were like an off-white. And his hair was spiky black. Super, super tall. like a really tall being. And he was dressed really smartly, and he had a briefcase. In his briefcase, there was an outer pocket, and in the outer pocket, there was a bunch of papers with writings on them. I looked at the briefcase, and he pointed to one, and he goes, "This is the one that you want." Now, I'm kind of scared to share this information because I feel like, I don't know if I'm supposed to, because the way that he acted about it, it was like, it was really top secret, but I guess I have no reason not to, so I will. But he gives me this piece of paper that had some sort of equation written on it, and he's like, "This is what you're looking for." I was so uninterested in the paper because I was so excited about this being right there and being in this other dimension that the only thing I could see was a parentheses, A plus B, parentheses, then a line, and then there's all this other stuff there, but I didn't get a chance to look at it. I know if I looked at the whole thing, I probably would have remembered it and would have been able to read it off. So I kind of let go of the paper, and he was a little taken aback, and he's like, "If anybody gets hold of that, it'll be really bad." And I didn't even, what did I say to him? I wrote this all down somewhere. I think I said to him, "Can I have a hug?" Right?
Yeah, I love you. Can I have a hug?
Yeah,
and he was like, really
I said something. Yes. So as he says that, I ignored him. I ignored him talking about the paper, and I was like, "I love you. Like, can I have a hug?" And he's like, "Huh?" Now,
I know who I am.
the general attitude that he had was as if he and I knew each other very well, and I was acting oddly. So it's almost like my higher self, or whoever I am, my astral self, does all of this stuff in the astral realm that I'm not aware of. And when I astral projected and I was more of my lower density self in that dimension, I had forgotten everything. So I was going through like an amnesia thing, and he was kind of like, "What's going on?" Like a little weirded out. So he just gave me a look. So I grabbed his hand, and when I grabbed his hand, I wanted to hug him. I was so excited. I was like, "What the hell? Like, look at me, I'm astral projected finally after all this time." He withdraws his hand and he goes, "Don't get me wrong, I'm a nice guy, but I'm still a demon." Now when he said this, that's the first time that I kind of got a little bit scared, and it's almost like I remembered a little bit, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, you're right," and I backed away, and at that moment I went back into my body. However, I think that that's just what I understood at the time. I don't think he was a lower vibrational being at all. I didn't feel any fear being around him until he said, "Don't get me wrong, I'm still a demon." I think he was just an astral being, and astral beings are often neutral. That's what I got from him. He's neutral, and that, you know, if that means demon, whatever. I wasn't afraid. I wasn't scared, and I've experienced lower dimensional beings before, and I was terrified, so scared. I wasn't scared with this. This was actually a really beautiful and really cool experience. I woke up ecstatic, like, oh my god, that just happened. I just left my body and experienced another dimension, the dimension on top of this one, the astral realm. And it was brief, but I feel like there's something that I need to be doing over there. And I think I'm doing it on an unconscious level. A part of me that's not conscious in this reality is doing that. It would be really cool to find out more, and I will work on astral projecting. I'm gonna start taking a course on it and watch all these videos on it, but I think it's very important to know things are going to happen that we don't understand, and we're gonna try to make sense of them, but usually we're gonna be wrong. Until we do it many times and become very acquainted with the astral realm, read a lot about it, then we'll be able to understand and to discern what is happening to us. Going into the astral realm without any prior, a lot of us do this, by the way, we go into the astral realm without any experience, kind of like what I did, any knowledge about what we're doing, really. Sometimes it could be negative, sometimes it could have negative effects, unless I think that what protected me and what can protect all of us is calling on our guides and calling on angels, because then we are not alone while we go through this, and they make sure to keep us safe. So I do feel like that really protected me. I wasn't scared at all. I felt really good about being there. I woke up feeling amazing, like, wow, there's really more to this world than just this dimension. And of course, I've known that before from other experiences in other realms, and, you know, plant medicine ceremonies definitely took me to other dimensions, but this was completely sober, just, you know, in the theta state, in the hypnagogic state, and experiencing something completely mystical and out of this world, and knowing, I deeply know that this realm exists, and that there's more than just this physical life. And it's so crazy. It's so crazy that we're not taught about it. It's so crazy that our powers to visit other dimensions are snatched out of our hands because it gives us way too much power. It makes this reality, this matrix, so much more real. It makes this the end-all be-all of everything. We have to work, we have to slave away, we have to give everything we have to buy homes and, you know, put food on the table. We have to work. We have to struggle, and there's nothing else. This is it. Is there heaven? Is there hell? Whatever. This is the life that we're in, and it's made more real if they take away the knowledge that there are other dimensions, and there are ancient peoples, there are indigenous tribes, there are native peoples who have cultures that are surrounding around visiting these other dimensions and these other realms and bringing back information from them, bringing back healing, bringing back resources for their tribes. And that ancient knowledge has been snatched away from us in the name of civilization. We think that civilization, that civilized people in modernity means improvement, means progress, that progress for the sake of progress is better. We have this belief as humans that the future is always going to be more civilized and more improved than the past. And what if that's not true? What if they had it right in the past? What if ancient people are more advanced than we are? I think we put so much credence and value in technology, in technological advancement, in science, because science gives us all these amazing machines that make our lives easier, right? But maybe it takes away from the quality of our lives, truly. Maybe indigenous ancient people, maybe they are the advanced ones. And we have this backwards belief that progress, that more civilization is the better way. That the future is technology, and maybe it's not. That's just another worldview that we have, and that's deeply embedded in all of us. So this went off on a tangent, but I hope you enjoyed it. Wingardium Leviosa.
Yeah.
Leviosa.
Leviosa.
Bye.